What's popping, Chill Squad? Welcome back to yet another video on this channel. So as you can tell by today's title, I'm going to be answering common questions I receive in terms of my disability and so forth. With that being said, you already know the drill. First like, comment, subscribe, and click on the notification bell so you know when I'm uploading. So I'm gonna assume that you are probably coming from my Instagram, as I'm going to post a short snippet of this video on there. Then you're gonna click on the link in my bio and then come and watch this. I've noticed that a great amount of you have a bunch of questions you want to ask me, but you're skeptical to asking me. And why I say so is because you guys, when you ask me the questions, you're like, I'm sorry, or I don't want to offend you, or I don't want to bother you, and all of that. It's not the case. If anything, I want you guys to answer or ask questions because I really want to answer them. I want to spread awareness. I want to educate as well. So if you have any question and you've been skeptical to asking me, go ahead, direct message me, leave a comment underneath here, and I will answer all of your questions because I truly want to help. I rather have you guys understand what it is rather than have you jump to conclusions or come up with insinuations as to what you think it is or what it isn't. So once again, if you have any question, whether you're on here on YouTube or you are coming from my socials, direct message me or leave a comment below with your question and I will gladly answer them. I'll make a part 2 to this if you want me to, and I will answer them, or I will just respond to you directly at that time. So with that being said, let's get into the video. Number 1, what type of disability do you have? Right, so I actually have 2 disabilities. However, I only talk about my low vision disability the most because it's the one that has been affecting me for the longest of time. However, I do have a learning disability as well that I was diagnosed with in 2018, and it's very similar to dyslexia. But I'm going to talk mostly on the visual disability, as this is the one that I most commonly speak about and I want to share with you guys. So let's get into it. I have congenital glaucoma as well as nystagmus. So nystagmus causes low vision as well as the uncontrollable shaking of my eyes, and then the congenital glaucoma also contributes to low vision, and it's basically when the eye fills up with a lot of fluid and it affects the eye's optical nerve, and if it's damaged it can get very bad to the point where you could even go blind. So that's to answer the question, what type of disability do you have? I have a learning disability and a low vision disability. Next question is, how long have you had glaucoma? So my glaucoma is congenital, meaning I received it from my mother as she has it as well. So I've had glaucoma since birth. I've always had it. I've never had good eyesight, right? So, which is, I believe, is one of the reasons why I'm okay now and I cope with it better, is because I can't compare it to anything I've had before. I've never had good eyesight, so it's easier for me to deal with this because I can't compare it to anything else. So to answer your question, I've had it since birth. Next question is, how do you go about your day-to-day life? Do you need any assistance? So I'm a pretty independent person. I can get around very easily by myself, especially if I need to carry out an activity that doesn't require me to really utilize my eyesight, like for example shopping. It can be difficult if I need to look at the price tags and so forth. That can be hard. However, I can do it by myself and I rely mostly on my hearing. But the days I do need to make use of my eyesight, my awesome brother will drive me to my appointments, as I won't be allowed to drive, or I'll make use of public transport, or if I need to fill out paperwork and so forth, which is very common, not my father but my mother will accompany me to the place, or my brother will step in and help me fill out the paperwork and so forth. Another thing is I rely mostly on my hearing, so the days I need to maybe go to town, just a CBD, it can be difficult, I won't lie, because I rely mostly on my hearing and it's a loud environment. It can be very difficult. It brings out a lot of anxiety in me. But other than that, I'm pretty independent and I get around by myself relatively well if I don't need to use my eyesight. I hope I answered your question. But next question is, how do you cope? So yes, this question, it's difficult. I won't lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna say that I don't have issues. I definitely do. It's difficult. Some days I wake up feeling like I can't do anything, and it's very easy for someone to slip into depression, especially if you have a disability. And I'm sure anyone who is watching this that has a disability, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. But the ways I cope is, number one, understanding that it's not my fault. I had to go through years and years of understanding that this is not my fault and not blaming myself for it, and kind of going through the why me thing. I still do have that today. Like, I have days where I just question why me, and I cry a lot and so forth. But understanding that it's not my fault is the first thing. Also, another thing is, I have a therapist. I've gone to many therapists. It's something that I'm actually happy about, because if I hadn't done it, I would have been in a very dark place right now. But from the beginning, I had to go to an occupational therapist, because when I was very young, I had issues with navigating, moving around, walking even, because I would be constantly looking down and so forth. So I would bump into stuff. So my mom took the initiative to, I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional, but yeah, my mom basically took the initiative to have me go and see an occupational therapist. So that helped me learn that body awareness and so forth, so I can start walking properly. Gave me that confidence to understand that yes, I have this problem, but I can walk, I can move by myself. I don't need to be so stiff and so frightened by everything. And then other than that, emotionally and psychologically, I've seen psychologists and so forth, and they've helped me cope with acceptance and so forth. Until this day, also a lot of self-love goes into it, because I can remember really just at a certain point, really a lot of self-loathing was very visible. So taking time to understand that it's not my fault. I keep bringing this one up, and then giving myself a lot of self-love, understanding that I'm here, I'm present, I'm not a mistake. I can do anything I want. I can do anything I set my heart to. I can achieve anything. I'm no different from the next person. I can be a superhero if I want to. So really putting myself in that position is what really helps me cope. And then aside from that, when I do have bad days, I allow myself to go through it. One thing I've noticed is we're taught that, okay, if you're having a bad day, suck it up and, go about your day. You cannot mope and do any of that. But the days I have where I'm like, I feel horrible, I allow myself to just stay in bed and sulk. It's really important, because I view that as important as well. So that's another thing. Last question, what type of eyesight do you have? To answer it, I have a 6-30 vision. So this is on both eyes, and this is recent. It's relatively low, I know, and people get very shocked when I tell them that that's my eyesight, but it's bad, but I'm okay with it. I've learned to cope with it and all of that good stuff. And oh yeah, I'm noticing now that there's another question. Is there a cure to your disability? No, there is no cure to glaucoma, which is why I cannot stress this anymore. For those of you, even if you have 20/20 vision, regular eye tests, please, because glaucoma is known as the silent thief of eyesight. So please, if you can, if it's available to you, regular eye tests, because there is no symptoms to this thing. It can just come at you like that and boom, you're blind. So please, regular eye tests as much as you can, and also making different adjustments to your lifestyle, what you take in, what you consume. That's also really important. So there's no cure about this. There's only treatment methods. So you can have the drainage operation where they drain out the liquid. That's what I had. And you can also take medications, eye drops that lower your the eye pressure. That's something I do as well. So other than that, You also have to make use of lifestyle improvement and so forth, what you take, what you intake, all of that. For example, I don't drink coffee or anything with a high caffeine intake, as that can increase my eye pressure. So simple adjustments like that, that's all you can do, as there's no cure whatsoever. Another thing I've noticed is you can take marijuana, CBD products to help lower eye pressure. I personally haven't made use of this method, but yeah, that is another method you can make use of. So that basically is all the questions I have here. I know for a fact there are more that you guys have. Once again, if you want to ask a question, shoot it through. I'm more than happy to answer it. And thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.